Okay, moving on to 3.2, adding and subtracting decimals. We just dealt with comparing them. Again, we have to do something with them. It's one thing just for the decimals to be sitting around, but we need to do some operations with them. So pretty cool stuff. I know you've seen it before, but number one thing is line up the dot. Yeah, there might be a song that I'll pull out for that, but that's the most important thing is. So notice that it's written horizontal, but we'll end up writing it vertical. So anyway, we're going to line up the dot, which is our decimal. We need to remember the rules for adding positive and negative integers, and we need to estimate for your WARA. And let me talk about what this is a little bit. If you had me last year, you remember it's what's a reasonable answer. And so it's always good when you're dealing with decimals, especially when you just have a handful of them, to kind of estimate where you should be. So if I'm going to estimate this is 2.4, let's say 2.5, this is a little closer to a 1, this is 6. So 6 and 1, that's 7. 7, 8, 9.5. So I should be around 9.5. If I get something like 900, then I know that I didn't put my decimal place correctly. So the first thing I need to do is line it up. So we have 2.4 or 2 and 4 tenths. We have 0.86 or again 86 hundredths, and then I have a 6. Now remember, the decimal is always here. We just don't put it there unless we really need it. So the other thing that is important to remember is that you have an infinite number of zeros hanging out here. So if you want to fill that in, you can. You could even put a 0 here. I could write it all like this, but you're like, really, lady? Come on, that's just extra work, and we don't want to do extra work. So I'm just going to clean that up a little bit. So here we go, adding. I'm going to start over here. So we get a 6, 8 plus 4 is 12. Carry this 1. Now notice I'm just lining up the dot. Okay, got to figure out how not to press that so hard on the template, the tablet. So 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 6 is 9. So again, pretty good estimation for our WAR. So a reasonable answer, 9 and 26 hundredths. Okay. So again, estimating, thinking about what a reasonable answer would be. And you really should do this before you do any type of problem. It just kind of helps you make sure you're in the right ballpark. So let's practice. So here we go. First thing I need to do is line up the dot. So 11.8 or 11 and 8 tenths minus 3 and 54 hundredths. Now, since I'm subtracting, it's going to be really important that I fill this in with a 0. Okay, and I'm going to line it up, put my decimal right here. I'm going to think about what a reasonable answer is. So 11, let's 11.8, let's round that to 12. Let's keep this at 3.5. We could even round to 4 if we wanted to. So 12 minus 4, we're into 8. So it should be around 8. If I don't get that around 8, it's going to be a clue that I didn't line up my decimals correctly. So we're subtracting. So I can't subtract from a 0, so I have to borrow from him. And now it's 10 minus 4, which is 6. 7 minus 5 is 2. And 11, or then it is. Okay, so final answer would be 8 and 26 hundredths. So again, here's another one where I have to line it up vertically. So adding, so it's going to be 0, 5, 8, and a 6. So again, I'm going to think about my WAR. What's a reasonable answer? I have 2.5, another half, should be around 3. So I'm adding 7 plus 6 is 13. 8 and a 1 is a 9. 5 and 5 is my 0. I'm going to carry this Now, if I just left it as 3,000, that's wrong. If I left it as 300, that's wrong. If I left it as 30, it's wrong. Because remember, our estimation said I should be around 3. So that's our clue that it's 3, our decimal. And plus, we lined it up. But you're in 7th grade now, so guess what you get? That's right. Decimals, or sorry, not decimals, negatives. So here we go. You have to remember your integer rules, or you're going to still have a hard time. So we have the rhyme, same sign, add and keep. Are these the same sign? Yes. So it tells me I need to add them. And keep the sign. So I know it's going to be a negative. So let's just put that negative there. I'm going to estimate. Let's say that's around 3. That's around 7. So 10, a little less than 10. So it says same sign, add and keep. So 2.9 or 2 9/10 plus 6.5. 9 5, 14. 6, 7, 8, 9. And line up the decimal. So negative 9 4/10. But if you forgot your integer rules, you're going to have a hard time. We're just adding and subtracting. Here's the next example. I'm going to go ahead and erase this one here. Okay, now we have our subtraction. So what do I need to do with the subtraction? I need to get rid of it. So I'm going to do my keep, change, change. Keep, change, change. You could also think about it as you're at the negative 5. Negative 5 on the number line. Negative 5.3, but let's just think negative 5. You're going to push away the positive team from their goal. So the positive team would want to go right, but you can't. They're getting pushed back away, so they're going to go further to the negative. So if that helps you. Anyway, let's do our keep, change, change before we do anything else. So this is going to be negative 5, 3 plus, this is going to be a negative 11 and 49. Oh, now I'm back to same sign, add and keep. Keep the sign. So keep the sign and I subtract. Or sorry, same sign, add and keep. So 5.3 plus 11.49. Again, you can add the 0 here if that makes you feel better. You don't really need to since you're just adding. It's more really when the subtraction that you need to make sure you put that there. So 9 plus 0 is 9. 4 plus 3 is 7. I'm going to bring this decimal down. 5 plus 1 is 6. And 1. It's going to be negative 16 and 79 hundredths. That is our final answer. And let's just circle this one. Okay, so again, you got to remember your integer rules, or you're going to have some trouble with this section. But I know you can look back in your notes and find that, and we'll just practice. Practice makes perfect. Okay,